Welcome, everyone. My name is Peter Provenzano. I'm Chancellor at Oakland Community College, and tonight we are celebrating a very exciting milestone. This is the completion of our very first project at OCC in over 10 years, and so we're really very excited about tonight. But first, before we get to the celebration, I do want to take a moment of silence to honor all of the victims and families, including some of our own OCC, parts of our own OCC family that has been affected by the tragic shooting at Oxford High School. And so let's take 30 seconds of silence, please. Thank you. We have learned many things from the pandemic. One of those things is that you can surely build a building a lot quicker without people in it, especially the Chancellor roaming the hallways, looking at little modifications along the way. At least that's what Bob Kelly told me. But we also learned that our students, they want high-quality online classes, but they also want high-quality face-to-face instruction as well. And so buildings like this are absolutely critical to that endeavor. This new area is home to our science as well as our computer science courses at Auburn Hills. And this is the place where our students have an opportunity to understand how things work. They test theories and assumptions, and they work on solving problems and keeping an open mind. This type of learning is absolutely key to our entire community's success. As you tour this area, and I hope many of you already had the opportunity to do so, you will see not only a state-of-the-art facility, but a facility that's modern and it's flexible. You'll see classrooms and labs, as well as collaborative learning spaces with places to plug your phones in. Those areas just didn't exist back in the 70s and 80s. And so we're really excited to bring a modern facility to meet the needs of our students today as well as the future. This is really the first in a series of upcoming changes college-wide at all of our campuses as we truly are building for the future. I want to take a moment to recognize some of our friends that are here from Oakland County. I saw that County Clerk Lisa Brown was able to make it as well. Welcome and thank you for joining us, as well as our friends at the City of Auburn Hills, including Council Member Brian Marzoff, and I also saw City Manager Tom Tangi here just a few minutes ago. We also have representatives from the International Diplomatic Corps, including our very good friend Yusuke Shindo, who's the General Counsel of Japan. So thank you for joining us. I'd also like to acknowledge OCC's board members that are in attendance. We have our chair, Pam Jackson, who you will hear from in just a few minutes. Our treasurer, Susan Anderson, is joining us, as well as our board secretary, Susan Gibson. I also want to take this opportunity to recognize our incredible team. An incredible building doesn't just appear, right, without a credible team. Throughout this evening, you'll see their names on the screens. They gave above and beyond what was needed to support this project, and so I would like to especially acknowledge them, as well as our steering committee, who provided the vision and excellence to create this framework and this project, including Dr. Timothy Sherwood, who was really part of this project from the very beginning. Dr. Sherwood is joining us all the way from Maryland, so great to see you, Tim, and thanks for coming back. And I also want to thank our OCC user groups who helped really refine the plans, including our excellent science and CIS faculty and staff, and I've seen them throughout the building on the tour, as well as our facilities team. And I can't forget our absolutely amazing partners, Tiffany Spano at Barton Malow, and the entire construction team, as well as Mike Nowicki at IDS and their entire architecture team. I want to thank them for just an amazing job in helping create this building and make it a dream come true. And of course, I want to thank our OCC project team, who worked tirelessly, our amazing faculty and parapros who partnered with facilities in preparing for the opening of this building, as well as getting it ready for all of our students in the fall. We joked when we said that our parapros were literally unpacking a week or two before classes start. That's not a joke. They really were unpacking just a week or two before classes start, and we really appreciate their commitment to our students and making it ready on the first day of classes. I also want to thank our financial wizard, Bobby Remius. I know she's here with her husband, Steve. Kelly Taylor, instrumental in coordinating the construction as well as tonight. And of course, our very own Bob Kelly, who's that guy that is always there whenever you need him. My family jokes, you just wonder where's Bob, and he just appears out of nowhere. He's just always there exactly when you need him. He may, as he jokes, he always tells us that, he warns us that in construction, you might have to break a few eggs to build a building. Well, I know that he did break a few eggs in the process, but wow, does he build a beautiful omelet, doesn't he? So I want to thank Bob. How about a round of applause for everyone? So I think you get a sense from me that I like this new building, but we have a video planned. Let's hear from the actual users of the building as well. Let's check out the video.
Hello, I'm Jennifer Byrne, and I'm the provost at Oakland Community College. The importance of science and technology and the importance of being up to date and current is what prioritized this building. And this is a centerpiece of our Auburn Hills campus, and we want to make sure that students feel that way. So I think infusing that excitement and reiterating the love for their discipline is represented in a new building.
With this new building, we have space to grow so that we can offer more classes, more programs that the community needs, whether it's automotive, whether it's healthcare, whether it's geographical, artificial intelligence, whatever our constituents need, we can provide that for the students so they can go out and get a better job. We get the techie people. Our server farm is right down the hallway, and it's glass enclosed so the students can actually touch, actually feel, actually see what's happening. Many of our students can just take the skills that they learn here that day and take it to the job. I'm so excited about it.
We're going to have new equipment, we're going to have new spaces, like in physics, for example. It's really state of the art, so students will be able to measure different physical quantities like wavelengths and amplitudes and velocities and all of that stuff, and then do data analysis right from that, because the data will be just incorporated in the software. And so those are the kinds of things that we're looking to do in this new building, continue to teach in a student-centered way.
In this building, we have a lot of great study places and a lot of great places to take a break. For example, when you have a class and you have a break of like 20, 30 minutes in between, it's really important to have that space. This new building is already doing a lot of things for OCC students, but I've also heard a lot of other students who are planning to transfer here to OCC just because of this new building and all its great technology that's going to have once it's inaugurated.
So there's much more we can do digitally. But with these new labs, the hands-on part of it is still so crucial, and we can do some state-of-the-art experiments.
And it's all in this new facility, new computers, new everything. It's wonderful.
We built this building for those students and for our community. We're proud to have done so, and we welcome you.
Not that I'm jealous, but I really wish I could take classes here. I'm a business major, but I'm really happy for science and other incoming students that are going to have a chance to really enjoy all the tools and all the services that this building is going to give them.
So what a wonderful video. How about a round of applause for all of our... So I don't know, I'm not sure if Adriana is here or not, but don't worry, as a business student, you will have a new building because, as I mentioned, this is the first of a series of renovations. And I have to, Judy Madsen over there, I just love the passion, and you are right, this really is very exciting, isn't it? So thank you. Now I'd like to ask the chair of our Board of Trustees, Pamela Jackson, to say a few words. Pam?
Good evening, and I'm glad everybody could make it this evening. And don't forget that there's plenty of food down the corridor there for you to get. So, I've been with the college a few years. And in fact, before MTech and Crest and a few of the buildings here at Auburn Hills, 41 years ago, this fall semester was my first teaching assignment on this campus. But it was outside in a trailer, because OCC was growing so fast they didn't have enough classrooms. Now the good thing is they had a porta potty right there. So we didn't have to run across campus to go to the bathroom. So that was perfect. 41 years ago, Auburn Hills was just one of OCC's campuses offering your basic 2-year college courses. However, as OCC grew and working with the community and industries, Crest MTech was constructed to address the community needs, with skilled trades, automotive programs, apprentice and pre-apprentice programs, and the academies for the police, fire, EMS, and 911. Now, 41 years later, after teaching over 30 years here at Oakland Community College, coming full circle, I'm honored to be on the Board of Trustees and current chair. It was in 2017 that Bobby Remius came up to me and approached me and said, we need somebody from the board to be on our committees here for the construction projects. And so she asked me if I would be a part of this. And I thought, I wonder why. Oh, it might have been due to all the work and the construction and renovations I did back in the late 1900s for the college. So in 2017, the steering committees met many, many times. And it was great to see such teamwork. So in the involvement of various user groups, and we had field trips to other colleges, and we got to see what they had so we can construct this wonderful building that we have today so that many students can come to this state-of-the-art facility as they learn and prepare for their future employment. Now, while I was on the steering committee, and there was a lot of wonderful discussions on the design, you could see the wonderful layout here and everything, it's beautiful. I only had one concern, and that was I looked at the prints and I'm going, I have a concern about this line. I said, how old is it? It was a water line. They said it's 50 years old. I says, since you're doing all this new construction, why don't you fix that water line? And they're saying, that's going to be another $50,000 added to the project. I'm going, yeah, and do you know how much it will cost once the building's built and it blows down the road? It's going to be like a few million. So we kind of brushed it off. Now the good thing was a couple weeks before they actually start working on it, the line did blow. And so they got a chance to fix it before the construction took place. So that was absolutely marvelous. And it's been a pleasure and an honor working with IDS, Barton, Malow, Bobby Remus, Bobby Kelly, I call it the Bob and Bob Show, and the full steering committee offering input and working to the completion of this fabulous building so that we can have this ribbon cutting ceremony tonight at the Auburn Hills campus. Thank you.
Thank you, Pam. Appreciate those wonderful words, and you really were instrumental in helping us design this beautiful building, and we appreciate your contribution. It's now my honor to welcome the new CEO of the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, Quentin Messer. I actually heard Quentin speak a couple months ago at Community College President's Meeting, and his passion for Michigan just came across so clearly. The one thing that struck me was how refreshed I was hearing him talk about being proud to be a Michigander and being proud of the beautiful and vast resources that we have, the 4 seasons, I think he was even talking about really leaning into being a cold weather state at the time, so which sounded pretty good back in September. But anyway, and really being proud of the tremendous talent pool that we have here. And after listening to him speak, I felt so positive, not only about the future of the state of Michigan, but also about his leadership, and I felt so confident with him at the helm. And so we're honored and privileged to have Quentin spend some time with us today and say a few words on this special evening. Quentin?
Thank you so much. Give it up for your leader. What a tremendous man he is. What energy he possesses. I grew up Baptist, but I now worship Kojic. So I know that if you say amen, I'll get out of here. But if you don't, I'll take my time. So some of y'all are like, we're going to say amen right now, so you go ahead and sit down. But but I want to give honor to your Japanese Consul General is here. I think that says a lot of how important this is. He's a tremendous busy man, so the fact that he took time, so thank you, my dear friend, for being here. Give it up for him. Give it up for him. There are we've called the roll a lot of luminaries, and we're really grateful for those who call themselves to public service and civic leadership. I was trying to figure out, amid this tragic situation, this is my first time in Oakland County since then, how do you sort of contextualize that and also a moment of great celebration, right? Because you want to be sensitive to the reality, but you also don't want to diminish the tremendous accomplishment here. So I decided I would anchor my brief, and I promise they're going to be brief, despite the fact that I'm Kojic and we like to talk. I'm going to hang it on 4 basic things. One is one that you know incredibly well. It is in your logo. It's what you see every day, excellence empowered. The second one we're going to talk about is perspective. And amid this tragic situation, this new beginning affords us perspective. And then the third is teamwork. And then the fourth is really about why this matters, why the enterprise of education matters so much. And so let me begin one on excellence empowered. You can't help, and I hope you all take advantage of the opportunity. I got afforded and blessed to go on this tour. What a remarkable job that the Bobs did on this thing. Give it up for them. I mean, this is just remarkable what they have accomplished and the sacrifices that you made, being inconvenienced. We had an opportunity to talk to the paraprofessionals who staff the labs. They moved thousands of items, not once, but twice. Those are the heroes and heroines of this. But they did it because you are excellence empowered. And with excellence comes sacrifice. It's a process. You just, as your leader said, you just don't wake up and this just happens. It's a process. It's ups and downs, highs and lows. But you got to keep fighting. You got to keep pressing forward. And now, this is a commencement in many respects. This is the beginning, domino that's going to fall and give momentum to greater progress, greater empowerment. And so this represents excellence. And the young men, the young women, the people who come through this will feel like people care about them because they're in a facility that reflects what you think about them, what you think about their possibility. And so I can't say how excited I am to see what's going to happen. some of the best minds in the future of Michigan are going to come through these doors. Our future. You know, the reason why I get up every morning and I'm so excited because I'm not a native Michigander. I wasn't blessed to be born in the Mitten. I'm a native Floridian. And I came up from New Orleans, Louisiana. So I know a little bit something about hot, humid weather. And people ask me, what the heck are you going to Michigan for? Are you crazy? And let me tell you, when I saw that first snow, I was like, what the heck was I thinking when I got up to Michigan, too? But on a serious note, what I realized, second point is about perspective. You know, I don't hide it, I'm a Christian. There's something, regardless of whether it doesn't matter whether you believe or don't believe. But the point is about perspective. There is a season for everything. And I commend to you, ladies and gentlemen, that the fact that Michigan has 4 seasons gives this state, gives each of you, gives the communities that you represent the perspective to get through the tragedy of what's going through. It gives you the perspective and know what to say to these young men, these young women, what to say to the teachers, the paraprofessionals that are in that school. You know, a lot of times, my parents were educators. Middle school principal, my dad, my mom's a high school guidance counselor, was. My father's deceased, my mother's retired. And we sometimes don't understand this enterprise of education, the sacrifice that the instructional staff makes. And that's why this building is so incredibly important, because if you have people in dark places and places that are hard to navigate, how can you say that you have value of them? So the perspective that you are doing here, what you're doing, what you are saying to people is you have value. And I'm going to tell you my perspective in economic development. We talk a lot about business. We talk about capital X and numbers, and you get excited, right? You do all that. But you know what the number one thing to maintain perspective, do you know what the number one asset in Michigan is? It's you. It's the people. And it's not just people in aggregate. Yes, there are 10 million of the best people in this world, not just country, but in this world. But it is the characteristics, hard work, integrity, inventiveness. You can't talk about American creativity without talking about Michigan. If you go all across the world and you ask people, what is the thing when you think about America? What's the first thing you probably say? It's a car, the automobile. That happened here. And if many of you, if you're musically inclined and you think about music, what changed the soundtrack of music? Arguably, it was Motown. Right here in this region. And so what you're doing here, what we're celebrating here, is about that perspective of invention that will continue to this next generation. And I can't wait to see what the graduates of this institution will produce. My third point is about the fact of teamwork. None of this happens because of one person, 2 people. And economic development and our ability to be the number 1 4-season state or province in North America happens because we're all going to row in this boat together. Whether we're a D or an R or an I or no party, or some of us, sadly, may not even vote. But we still need to row in the same boat. And education is the great unifier. It's that great thing of developing lifelong learners. And that's the critical piece of community colleges. Whether it's 60 by 30 or future for frontliners, and I see that you're working that. Whether you're a Democrat or Republican under the dome, we all know if the number 1 asset are people, you here at Oakland Community College is going to be a part of making sure that asset fully actualizes itself, or him or herself, I should say. And you have to know that people evaluate how much you're going to care about them, how relevant they are to you, by how you treat them by their physical environment. And you're making a powerful statement by what you're doing here. And the final thing I want to say before I take my seat, my man here, he's my friend now, but he's going to yank me if I keep talking too long. The mask is coming off. Yeah, the mask is coming off, so I'm about to sit down. Is about hope. And so as we continue to wrap our arms around this community, let not pessimism or despair prevent you from seeing what you've accomplished. Let this be a beacon. Even in this, think about it, there must be an irony. In this dark moment, this light, it might feel like a flicker, but is that hope for the future? Remain encouraged, believe in Michigan, and let's believe in each other. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Quentin, for that reminder that even in the darkest moments, Oakland Community College truly is a beacon. And we really are in the center of it all and uniquely positioned to change the world. And so it's really exciting to be the Chancellor at Oakland Community College, and appreciate you helping us with those very grounding comments. You know, I always say magic happens, and this is magic when you look at this building, when you have a good relationship, when you have a good partnership, and there's trust. And Barton Malow has been that partner, not only through this process, but even tonight as they sponsor our reception. And so it is also an honor and a privilege to welcome the chairman of Barton Malow, Doug Maibach, up to the podium. Doug?
Good evening, you all. Thank you, Peter. It's fun to be up here and actually be part of a ribbon cutting. You might be surprised how few of our customers actually take time to celebrate the completion. They're kind of like glad to see us go a lot of times. But, you know, that's what we're here for, to build edifices like this. But it is wonderful that we're able to celebrate it together, because it is a lot of trust, a lot of relationship that helped build this building. I also got my start here at OCC. I'm an engineer, and some of the first math classes I ever took in college were at OCC 40 plus years ago. So it gave me a good start, good foundation. Peter mentioned our relationship. And it's deep, you know, beyond just starting my educational career here. With OCC, I personally worked on the Farmington Hills campus back in the 80s, helping to build some of those facilities, which was a fun thing to do. But to flash forward to more recent years, Barton Malow and OCC have had a relationship where we're managing the capital projects. And when we do that, over time and build that trust, we're able to do wonderful things like this. And we don't take that trust for granted. We work hard every day to build on that, to earn that, but we're very appreciative of that relationship. And thank you for trusting with us with this responsibility. I was asked to speak briefly about the project importance, some of the challenges and triumphs. So I called Tiffany Spano, our project manager, and had her remind me of some of the challenges. I'm going to guess that everybody's here has built something at some point in time, and frequently the hardest part of any job is getting started. This job had huge challenges getting started. You may not realize that as we're up here on the second floor of the building, but what we built here is at the lowest point of this campus, and this is where all the water came and where all the water settled. So our excavation, the beginning of this project, we had huge challenges with water removal, remediation of the soils, but we did get a good foundation down, which every building needs to be able to stand the test of time. But we started out with a major, major challenge. And then you just think about our environment today. We're wearing masks. We are in the middle of a pandemic. We're blessed here in that the pandemic hit during our construction, in that, as was mentioned, students were all of a sudden gone. This project got finished early because of a 7+ week pause, a time to reflect. Many times I know our project teams, would welcome that chance to rethink the plan, tweak the plan, enhance the plan. We were able to do that here. And then with the students not here, accelerate the renovation portion of it, which is dirty, which is messy, takes a lot of the coordination. Tiffany personally wanted me to thank the Bob team, just saying how wonderful they were to work with, in that all of that coordination needed to make this happened with a very willing and powerful partner. So literally, because of COVID, because of the pandemic, this project is being opened months ahead of schedule. And I think that's hats off again to our team collectively. And I say that team to include OCC, Barton, Malow, and all of our partners. So what did we build here? It's not real sexy to talk about building B and building C. But as has been renumated here, we're building a place that is going to impact a lot of future generations. Nearly 54,000 added square footage of the building, 27,000 square feet were renovated. We worked over 41,000 hours on this project, or 17,690 man and women days on the project. 15 classrooms, 17 collaborative spaces, 8 state-of-the-art laboratories. All of this was done because of an incredible team. So I want to recognize our team here, led, as I mentioned, by our project manager, Tiffany Spano. The team's over here to my left. Our senior superintendent, Joe Fricke, superintendent Kevin Kraus, project engineers, Ryan Waseski, but also Mike Stoback, Stephanie Hatchie, the leadership from the office that supported this team. Thank you all. Hats off to you. Job well done. To IDS, our partners on the architect engineering side, led by Mike Nowicki, was mentioned. But I also want to mention, when I talked to Tiffany, she said, make sure you personally thank Bob Kurtz on behalf of our team for what he did from IDS to help make all of our challenges go away. So thank you, Bob. IDS design consultant included the civil engineer, Anderson Eckstein and Westrick, structural engineer, Desai Nassar, consulting engineers, landscape architect, which I enjoyed walking up and enjoying all of that, Grissom Metz, Andrews Associates. And a thank you again to all of you for just the opportunity to work to build a better world. Barton Malow will build about $3 billion worth of construction this year. None of them is more important than this. In our backyard, building something that's going to make a difference in the kids that go on ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug, and kudos to our math faculty for teaching him his math skills. I have to say math, so Barton Malow has the most accurate cost estimating we've ever seen. So no pressure on our next project, but thank you to our math faculty, and thank you, Doug, appreciate those words. For our final remarks, I'd like to ask Dr. Leah Aggison to say a few words. Dr. Aggison is the Associate Dean of Math and Science here at OCC, and I'm going to try to get this right. She's a trained neuroendocrine molecular biologist. And when we met a long time ago, and when she told me she told me that was her training, and I think I responded, I'm not really sure what that even is. But it sure sounds great. We're blessed to have her on the team. What we know is she's widely known here at OCC for her commitment to mentoring our students and ensuring their success. So, Leah, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you, Peter. Good evening, and thank everyone for being here tonight, considering all that's going on. So I joined OCC after the design of the labs and new spaces were already completed. So for me, this has been really a wait-and-see kind of process, and thankfully, everyone involved in the process has graciously invited me in. I was able to do several walkthroughs of the labs and new spaces throughout construction. Each time, I was more and more excited about these new labs as they were approaching completion, because I know what swanky new lab spaces do for faculty morale and for students. You know, having these state-of-the-art facilities, it really puts us in a competitive space with area schools. Now that the spaces are completed and I can see it all together, I've got to tell you, I am far more excited about the non-lab spaces. These spaces are amazing. The way to get the fastest momentum in science is through idea sharing. And the design of this space was done with that in mind. The laboratories have spaces where the paraprofessionals who prep those labs can share their space and their time and their ideas. But these spaces here, where the students can congregate, are so critical for science and for student success. There are spaces for small groups of students, large groups of students, and it puts them right in proximity with their faculty and with the staff members that prep the laboratories that they're going to perform each week. So I'm overjoyed to see that it was designed with this in mind, because it's critical. OCC, as you know, we don't have dorms. Students commute. So it's vital that they have places to be, places to see each other, to build community, and to just study. So again, thank you to the design team, to the construction team, to Bob Kelly, to Bobby Remius, and to especially Kelly Taylor, and our paraprofessionals that, again, it cannot be overstated, the absolutely Herculean effort that they put forth to get these spaces ready for students at the beginning of the semester, and they were ready. I would like to thank them by name: Melody, Anu, Sylvia, and Carrie. Thank you.
Okay, now it's ribbon cutting time. So if I could have all of the speakers come up to the ribbon, we will do so. We'll keep our masks on.